Okay, so we're back here with video number 2. In this video, I am basically going to input the settings I'm going to use in my setup into the DSP. I have a three-way front end, tweeter, mid, and mid bass, and two 12-inch subs in the rear. So I am also using the Toshlink input, and I am using the main input for the DSP. So we're going to check our inputs here and see how they are assigned. Front left, front right, front left, front right. So everything here is basically right. And for the main, I'm only using 2 inputs to the DSP. So everything here also looks correct. So the next step for me would be to input my measurements for my speakers for the time alignment. So left tweeter 104, the left mid 106. This would be my mid bass, which would be 132. And over here would be the right tweeter 60. Oh, and remember guys, this is in centimeters. This would be 60, then 68, then the mid bass is 106. The mid bass are in my stock area in the doors. And for the sub, that would be 114. Oh, if you realize here, 7 is here, 8 is here. If you are using both outputs for the subs in the rear, you would input the same measurement into the two of these if you're using both left and right to go into the sub amp. If you are running a front sub, you can use your probably output 7 as the front and 8 as the rear, and then you would just input the measurements for those corresponding things right there. And now next here, I'm going to assign my outputs. So tweeter, here would be tweeter mid, here would be tweeter mid. This would be woofer, sub, sub. Alright. That looks okay. And as I said last time, if you realize here, it basically inputs what it think would be the safe crossover points for your speakers to help avoid damage. So for me, for my tweeters, my high pass is going to be 6,000, slope 24 dB, 24 dB. And on all of my slopes, I use a 24 dB Lynx Quist Riley. Reason being, there's some flat at the crossover point. The other ones, Bessel, Butterworth, they give you a boost at the crossover point. So that is something then you will have to EQ out depending on how you're doing your curves and what's not. So for me, I just want it flat. So I use the 24 dB Linquist Riley. Then the low pass for the mid would be 6,000. My mids start at 300. They can go to 6,000 easily. This would really depend on the mids you use. My mids are really wide bands or full range 2-inch speakers, so they can play almost the whole range. And down here for my mid bass, start at 300 to 80, 300 to 80. And with my car, how my car measures, I will show this in another video. I don't start at 80 for my sub, I actually start at 60. So there's a slight difference with how that is in my car. Not all cars would need that, some cars would need it. When you measure with a RTA, it really would give you the idea really what you need. Alright, 60, 60, 24 dB, 24 dB. Alright, now, oh, I forgot to do one thing over here. Calculate delay. As you see, it calculated the delay for me. And as you would have realized, down here, it shows you in the crossover region. Well, it shows you the crossover regions. So you start at 20 hertz here, all the way up to 20 kilohertz. And it shows you the cross points of the entire system. And from here, what is next? Oh, for me, with my outputs, I start my outputs a little ways down. Give me a second here. I just realized you can't see. Right. Can't see the back of the bottom of the app. So now here we can see that. This is the range I was talking about. 100 hertz all the way up. I start my gains at -6 dB. So I can easily come here, -6, -6. My reasoning for doing -6 is if for some reason after I EQ the channels, I have to raise any of the outputs, I can easily come here and adjust these instead of touching the gains on the amp. So far with my amps would really be at lowest gain possible. If they're 6 volt, they'd be right up to 6 volt. I'm trying to get as much signal into the amps as possible first before I touch the gain to turn it up, because I'm trying to avoid floor noise in the system. That's just how I do it. Other people do it differently, so that's them. Oh, something else I want to mention here. If you realize here, when I highlight the sub channels, we have 1 to 11. With this particular DSP and the amp combination, channels 7 and 8 are limited to 11 parametric EQ bands. If I select anything else, you have 1 to 31. So 31 band EQ on every other output except 7 and 8. Alright, so basically here's the setup for my car, how it would run. My next step from here would be to actually go into the vehicle, and then I would load up my measurement software. I use Runo. I was using Smart before, and measure everything and see how it works out. And I'm trying to figure out how I can get a well-detailed video done on that when I'm tuning the vehicle. As soon as I get that figured out, I would record it and post it. So this is it basically for now for this section of the video. Alright, see you guys in the next one.